Good afternoon, everybody. I've done the same thing again with my camera. Look, there we go. How are we all? Good. It's a little bit busy here. We've been opening lots and lots of envelopes over the last couple of days, and we've actually laid out everybody's tile who's took part in the tile swap, and they're fantastic. You know, when you put them all together, it looks like this sort of quilt of tangling. It's fabulous. I will obviously take a photograph. And once we've done the swap, I will, I will put a picture on Facebook so you can all see it. But for now, keep sending them in. You know, the deadline's next week, so we're okay with that yet. So today, though, I thought we'd do a cream tile. We're on 107, but I've actually brought with me today some watercolours. So if you want to stick with the regular pencil and tortillon, absolutely fine. But I thought it'd be quite nice to to just do something a little bit different. So are we ready then? Here we go. Deep breath. All is good. The sun's trying to shine, you know, and the snow on the ground's gone. We actually had a bit of a hump of nasty ice at the end of the road, but somebody's cleared that away. I'm so pleased. It means that we can, get in and out a little bit easier. Okay, so here we go. Put my dots in, and I'm just going to bring in a bit of a border. Just sketching it a little bit today. You can go straight down and do the line. It's whatever you feel like, isn't it? If you want to do a line straight down, there we go. Now I am moving my whole hand and wrist for that. I'm not just sort of trying to get it to go on its own. But yeah, the whole thing moves, and it just helps to get a little bit straighter. There we go. Are you're all wearing your badge? That's really cool. Oh, do you know, I'm so pleased with them. They're lovely, really nice. And I'm all, there's a little bit more, but it was well worth it, absolutely. Okay, so there's my border. What do we need to do now then? We're going to split our space up very lightly with the pencil because I don't want this to be seen once it's done with. So here we go then. I'm gonna sort of put myself a mark, and I'm gonna draw a line sort of in the middle. And again, it's a guide, so just keep it light. And turn it round. Leslie, Sanntangle HQ. Oh dear me. There we go. Bit of a cross going on there. Okay. So then I'm going to turn it this way as well. And I'm just going to line it up from one to the other. And again, I want to go through that sort of centre point. There we go. It's not exact, don't worry about it. There we go. And down here as well. And down there. Okay. Oh, that's all the hard work done, really. It's part of it. Okay, I'm just going to come a little bit larger. And what I want to do first off, I want to put myself a little mark. So I'm going to sort of think, let's have a look, about halfway here, I'm going to put a little mark. Okay? And I'm going to do the same on that one. Turn it round. Ah, good morning from North Carolina. How is it over there? Oh, yeah. Who's watching the pottery? Yes. Pottery throwdown on a Sunday. It's cool. It's not actually that far from where I used to live. I used to live in, I was born and bred in Stoke-on-Trent. So, and I have worked on a pottery or a pot bank before. Yes, when I was about 18, I think, 18, 19. I know, things you remember. Okay, so that's my pencil down for now, and I'm going to come on in with my pen. So we'll know regular micron. It seems to be an 01. I've got one of those in my kit. But an 02 is absolutely fine, so please don't think you've got to use exactly the same as me. Whatever you've got there. There we go. So there's the guide with my little mark on. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a curve, but I'm not going to go too wide. It's quite a skinny one. So let's put that curve in. There. Okay. I know Keith, he cries a lot, doesn't he? He's lovely. Let's do the same there. If you've not seen the pottery throwdown and you can watch it on catch up, it's worth watching. It's great. Okay, and turn it this way. And another curve. And then another curve. Okay. So it's just on the cross sort of shape. If I go in it out a little bit, there you go. All right. So now I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm sort of joining them together now, creating this little bit of a leaf pattern maybe, or a petal, whatever you want it to be. You see, I'm sort of creating the same curve each time, and I'm just turning the tile so I can make that happen. Oh, hi Jane. Oh my goodness, you've got a few to catch up then. Hey Sam. Oh, and Sue. Maureen. Oh, hello everybody. It's lovely to be back. Okay, so we've got this curve shape on all sides here. So I'm going to come in a little bit larger now, just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to work on this side. You might want to work on this side first, but everything's everything's going to be on both sides, so it really doesn't matter where you start. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to be a little bit lower than this one. Put a little mark just so you can see about there, look. And then I'm going to bring that curve in and to that point there. Okay. And then I'm going to do quite a skinny one. It's almost like I'm doing that little leaf shape we do into there. Okay. So I'm going to turn it and I'm going to do the same again. So if you need to put that dot just to remind yourself where you're working from, that's fine. And then down we go. And then again, another skinny one there. Okay. And turning it round. Same again. Now, you know, it doesn't matter what number tile you're on. Or if you want to, you can mix and match. You can pick the ones that you want to do. It's entirely up to you. I'm not planning on them going anywhere, so watch them at your leisure. And just enjoy it, you know, that's what it's about. Have a little bit of... Oh, Daphne, you'll get there, honestly. Hey, Sarah, you'll get there, don't worry about it. You know, some people hate straight lines and they think, when I gotta do a straight line, they're like, no, don't. But you know what? Doesn't matter, does it? As long as you're enjoying the process, it really doesn't matter. Here we go, look. I'm gonna do another one here. So what I've done on the right hand side there, I'm sort of doing this, I'll say the same or similar on the left now. So it's creating this sort of strange little curvy pattern going on there. Always to that same point in the middle. There we go. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is where we are so far, all right? So next one, I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to try and keep it within this space here if I can. So I'm going to come in a little bit lower down this time and I'm going to do another curve. But you see as it sort of straightens up a little bit there, you see? Because I want to do that curve. And again, so I'm going to join it onto that line. Okay. So let's do one on the other side. I'll make it a little bit larger now so you can see where I'm coming from. So here we go, I'm going to just put that curve in, see it goes to the line there, and then the same here, curved until it meets, and then it filters through, so you've got that kind of shape. Oh, have I? Yeah, I have now, I'll go back and do it in a minute. Yeah. It's a good job you're on your toes and keeping an eye on me, isn't it? There's that curve again. So this side, I better do another one, look. There we are, look. I think I spot it now. There you are. And then another one here. And see, I'm going to do the curve till I get to that line and then it's just going to straighten off. Okay? And then let's do it again. And then here, let's just work this one in. And then a curve till I get to that straight and down. All right. Oh, maybe so, Barbara. Maybe so. It's amazing what everybody sees and the differences. And I've really noticed that because obviously I'm sat here with quite a few tiles on the table opposite me and the differences, and it's lovely to see that there's some influence there of certain tiles. Oh, what have I done here? Oh yeah, I've got to do that one. And some of you have used coloured tiles, some have used cream, some of you have used no colour, and they're just fabulous. Oh, Samantha, you wait. I mean, there's some more come on the doorstep this morning. We couldn't wait to open them. We're like, oh my goodness me. So yeah, we've got quite a few. It's been amazing. Even my mum's took part. I'm so proud of you, Mum, if you're watching. There we go. Yeah, do you know what, Sue? I understand that, and I know people find it a bit scary. And do you know what? There's going to be lots of, when I say different levels, some people do things differently than others, and we've said that all along. So it's not about how good it is. It's about the fact that you've taken the time, you've created something, you've thought about it, you've created something, so you've given your time, and then you've had the confidence, which means so much to me actually, to send it in, to be able to share it. And it's not just about getting a really good tile in the post, it's about getting something that somebody's cared enough to actually send it in and be willing to swap it. And it's about that friendship and that community. So please don't worry if you think, oh, it's not good enough. Please don't, no, that's not what we're doing it for. We're not here to judge, or we're not here to give you marks and scores. It's about that sharing and that being part of something that I think's so special. And I think so, and I think that's what it's all about for me. So it's lovely. They're really good. Okay, so you can see where we've got this sort of pattern coming in now. I want to now sort of work on sort of the diagonal or the diamondy kind of shape. See where we've got these two little ones here. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is, again, I don't want it to be halfway. I'm not going to make it too big. So I'm just going to do this a little bit by eye. I'm just going to put in one of those lovely little curves there again. Okay. There we go. Oh, Chris, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's all about sharing and being supportive with each other. And, yeah, we all have our bad times and we all have those dark moments, but this is about just getting together and celebrating the fact that we've all met each other virtually, and there's something special about this group. It really is. So that's what we do. So yeah, if you're really not sure and you think, I don't really want to send the swap in, have a look at the video, and it's just about trying a particular pattern, but you can then do whatever you want to do. You've still got time to send it in. Okay, so you see how we've got this sort of pattern forming here. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Really pleased with this one. So okay, let's go a bit larger now. I'm going to come back to the first one I did, this first curve shape here. And I'm going to come on in and I'm going to add a little bit of a swirl in. See? And then a swirl this way. And then a swirl this way. Yeah, you can do it different ways if you like, but it's fine. Okay. And then I'm just gonna, see, I've just filled the space. I've just created an aura within that shape. I'm just gonna go and fill it in with that black ink there. It just gives that little bit of drama in there, you see? And just fill that space in. And then a little bit here. And a little bit there. There we go. Okay. Oh yes, the Sanntangle class off, yes. Oh, it's lovely. Long way may we reign, eh? Yeah. There we go. Did you notice as well, I've set up a new Facebook page. Oh, I'm going to do that one called Sanntangle, because I know sometimes people get a little bit lost and they can't find where to post their pictures. So that page is purely for people to post their tangly pictures. And, you know, and people can have a look and, you know, take inspiration from it. I thought that'd be really nice. So if you've not found it yet, it's called Sanntangle. Pretty easy. So yeah, just have a look on there. I think I've set it up right anyway. You know what these things are like at times. Sometimes you have a bit, you know, a few teething problems, but I think it's all set up ready for people to post on. So, okay, you see how different this looks now, just adding that little bit of black on there. There we go. Finger that in there. And the little one there. See, even if it's a little one, it just does make all the difference. There we go. It's called, who's that? Catherine? It's Sanntangle, yeah. That one. Same again. And same again. Now, if you've got 2 in there, or you've got, I don't know, maybe 4, yours is going to be slightly different than mine, as we know, because you might have started a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller with this shape. So just fit in however many you can get in. Or of course, if you want to use a different tangle in there, you can. Just thought it'd be quite nice to have those little swirls in there. All right, so have a look at that. Look at that. You see how the drama sort of picks up a little bit once you start doing that? That's great, I love that. Okay. All right, so we're ready then for the next bit. Oh, okay. What we're going to do, I'm going to come a little bit larger again so you can see it. So I'm going to work from point to point, okay, but not right on the end. I'm going to give it a little bit of a gap, you see? So if I just mark there and you see again a little bit of a gap, and what I'm wanting to do is to create again another curve, okay? Yes, you can all post them on, yeah, that's what it's for. So please feel free to do that. It's nice to share what you've done. Oh, you're welcome, Julie. My Seth sleeps all the time, most of the time anyway. It's Benji you have to watch out for. Yeah. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. It's just taking it from point to point, leaving a bit of a gap, as you can see, only a little one, and then just creating that curve, and I'm almost enclosing this lovely patterning that we've done, and into there too. Okay, don't think they've all got to be the same curve, you know, everything's going to be slightly different. You just want to work it around, okay? So you've got that enclosure. All right. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, don't share any swap ones yet, that's all. We're just going to keep that little bit surprise, top secret, until everybody's they're out in the post. So here we go. I've got a space. I'm going to put a mark. You see the space I've got there? Let's have a look. It's probably about, there you go. It's as wide as my pen. That's fine. And then if I just mark that all the way around, you know, from point to point, just gives me a guide so I can work to it. I mean, if you feel happy about not doing that, you don't have to. But I'm just sort of giving you hints as to how you can make this work a little bit easier for you. Okay? So again, let's just take those curves from one to the other. And next one. Just turning my tile as I go. Keeping that curve going. I'm just following the one I did originally and working towards those points as best I can. If you don't hit them, don't worry about it. Just a guide, just so you can see where you're heading. All right, and the next one. And then of course the next one. So we've got this lovely sort of shape coming around, okay? So looking at this original sort of cross shape here, if I now put one of those lovely curvedy petal leaf kind of shapes there, and let's do one here as well. And turn it round here. So I'm just going to take my time and just work from one to the next. Just adding this little shape in. You can see where it sort of started in the middle, and we're completing it with the same curve shape. They're just different sizes really, different thicknesses. There we go. Okay, so looking at my space here, I can possibly get another 2 in there. So I'm going to sort of, if you want to do it with pencil first and give it a little mark, I'm just going to fill that with 2. So I'm sort of breaking my space up as even as I can do it by eye. I'm not going to measure it. Just going to work in the space. Just breaking it up as I go, little bits. Okay. And then let's work in the next one. One there and one there. Just turning it round, bit at a time. Now, it doesn't matter if yours are a different shape slightly to mine. As we know, everybody's going to have their own little characteristics in these little shapes and curves that we do. And that's all fine, that's exactly what we want. You know, whether you've got a shaky hand, or you like straight lines, or you prefer curves, or don't, it doesn't matter. It's however it comes out. Okay, so there we are. We're at this stage. Okay. So I'm going to sort of work from the middle point here, I think, and I'm going to create another one of those little leaves there, and I'm going to work from one to the other. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then let's have it going up bank. And then again, look here, up bank. And then down. So it's creating this sort of zigzag pattern. There we go. And I'm sort of mirroring one side to the other. And if I turn it round, again, I went down first, so I'm going to go from here to here, that way. And then a little bit of a mirror there, you see. And then this way. So same on that one. And then down here. And down here. And then turn it again. And again, working from that centre point, going down back and down back. Okay. Oh, I'm missing all this conversation. Oh, Liz, you can find Marie on her Facebook page if you look for Marie Dovinson. She's on there on Mondays. And some colouring. There we go. And that one. And then turn it again. And again, down bank. And down bank. And then we're going to go up. See, I might do that one here this time, look. And then just remind myself where I am on this. And then finish that off there. Okay. So let's go a little bit larger. You see now we've got these lovely little gaps in between. So again, I'm just going to come on in and just fill it in with ink. You see, I'm just doing that little aura and then a little bit of filling in. And in there, and in there. Okay. Oh, Julie, I don't know. What bank? Don't know. My granddad used to come out with some really weird sort of slang from Stoke. Never understood him. Did we ever? Oh, I don't know. I mean, we did have a conversation, it was a while back now. It's some of the, you know, the best things to come out of Stoke-on-Trent, things like oatcakes. Stoke-on-Trent oatcakes are really nice, and rice pies. You can't, although sometimes you find oatcakes on sale in other places, but they're never the same. Never. So I do miss them. So, of course, my mum used to come up and visit. She used to bring some up with her, so I've not seen her in a while, as you can imagine. Okay. In we go. And into those. So I'm just adding this little bit of drama, this little bit of black to the aura. Now, you could quite easily do your own thing here, and you could add a different colour, or you could leave it blank. You could fill it with lines. So then he's got his coffee there. Yeah. Leslie's just doing the tea. But to be fair, she's working really hard at the minute. Who do you think puts the 2 ways to tangle kits together? Yeah, that'd be Leslie. She's packing those at the minute because we've got those going back on Friday. So if you didn't get one last time, great opportunity. Oh, Catherine, yeah, first and last. I wouldn't have them from anywhere else now. There's no point. Stoke-on-Trent or nothing. Do like them. Oh, I miss them now. It's my fault, I brought it up. I did actually bring up some up for a friend. It was a long time ago. So, you know, try these. And you know what? I mean, I hope you're sitting down anybody from Stoke. But he put jam on them. Jam, I tell you. Really? Jam? No. No, you can't do that. It's English breakfast type thing. You have oatcakes with cheese. Oh my word. I think I must have looked at him in disgust because he's like, what? Stop it. Okay. All right, so there we are so far. So while we're on this sort of kind of pattern here, I'm actually going to do the same on this section. So there we go. One either side of this little petal. That one there. There we go. See, tea's arrived. And then another one here. So again, it's just that little sort of aura around. There we go. And there we go. Same again. So just either side of that lovely sort of petal or leaf shape. And then last one here. Again, you could fill this in or you could leave it. Let's have a look at it. There we go. I think I'm actually going to leave it just for now. I might come back and do it in the black. No, I'm going to do it. No decisions. If that's the only decision I've got to make today, it's all good, isn't it? Do I colour it in or not? Do I fill it with black ink or not? So there we go. Decision made, look. There we go. Of course, you could do it in a different colour. It's fine. There we go. And you just working it in there. There we go. And then turning it round, and that's it. See, I'm glad I did that now. I like that. I like it filled in. There we go. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Look at that. Do I get a chance to have a quick sip of tea now? Oh, it's good. Oh, okay. So looking at, I've got a little bit of space left here. So I'm going to come back in And I'm going to add in that lovely curve shape at the top there. Oh yeah, thank you, Sue. Yeah, it is. I'm pleased I did that. Yeah, sometimes you do these things, don't you? And you, oh no, what have I done? But no, I'm pleased with that. That's good. Okay. And then this one. And then this one. Okay. And that one. So, let's just add one in here as well. See, they're a little smaller, but that's fine. Yours might be different. You might find that yours are quite large here. But it depends on, obviously, where you started and how big your first little shapes were. Okay. So let's have a look at the space now between here and here. I'm just going to put myself a little mark, sort of by eye, about halfway. And I'm just going to put a half curve and a half curve. And then I'm just going to bring it in again, and I'm going to do one of those little skinny ones. And same again. Okay. Alright, and then a little one. And then again, curve. And another curve. See, that one looks like the skinny needs to be on the inside. And that on the outside. You can make your own decision as to, you know, how wide they go. Oh, Chris, maybe that's just your thing. Maybe it's just about being, you know, a little bit smaller. It's fine. Everybody's different. I know Leslie prefers a 005 pen, so you can imagine. In class, we all used to be waiting for her. So it used to take her a little bit longer, but that's fine. Everybody, you know, goes to their own thing. There we are. Same again, look. Put the little mark if you feel that you need it. Put your curves in, and then let's add that little skinny bit there. Same again on this one. Okay. Alright, and again. There's that little extra curve. Oh, Leslie. 003, yeah, gosh, that was very fine. Very fine. And I must say that Leslie has done a tile. It is sat here on the desk. So she's in with the swap as well. So, you know, somebody's going to get Leslie's. Leslie and I have just said we're not going to swap each other's. So you'll be fine. We're not keeping it in-house. It's all random. Okay. So, let's have a look at that. Now, of course, we could go in and we could add extra, but do you know what? I think because I want to add a little bit of colour, I'm not going to add anything in here. I'm going to sort of do it with its shading. So, I'm going to put the pen to one side for a minute, and I'm going to bring in some colours. Of course, you know, if you've got the Bronzeal like I have, the set of 12, it's got the brush with it. And you don't have to worry so much about what colour choices you make because there are only 12. So it's a case of whatever you pick up and whatever you want to work with. So I'm going to work with the bright blue. And I'm going to work with the sort of the magenta-y colour. There we go. It might be that I bring in a little bit of the dark blue, but I'm going to leave that for now over there. And I'm just going to work with these two. So here we go. Let's sort of start. I'll start with the light blue, being that that's the one I picked up first. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come on in and I'm just going to add a touch to that little bit there. Now it might be worth, you see where my pencil's a little bit darker, just so you could see it, is let's just get rid of those little pencil marks. Just because if you're going to use water, we don't really want the pencil muddying it up. So here we go. I'm just going to now get rid of my little border because I don't need that anymore. Unless you want to leave it straight, but I'm going to have a little bit of a wavy border. There we go. Don't usually use the rubber a lot, but I think on this occasion that's better. You could just sort of see it muddying a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little bit to that side as well. And then a little bit to those. I mean, only a little bit, and you see that I'm leaving the centre point. I'm just sort of touching the edge with colour there, you see. So I'm not colouring it in. It's just about adding some colour on. So we're not sort of taking a long time over it. No, it's just about, let's get some on there. Just working my way around the tile. And you can see, let's go a little bit larger. You can see, look, I'm not really colouring in. I'm just adding that little bit of colour. See, just a little bit on the top edge there. As I'm working, oh, that's a bit of rubber still. Just working my way around. You see, just bits of that blue in places. Just to give it something all around the frame. There we go, almost there, see? Okay. Okay, so then again, I'm just going to come on in and just add a little bit to those. There we go. All right, and I think whilst I'm at it, I'll do the same on the tops there. See, there's a little bit more going in on the larger pieces. Just purely because there's more, more space really. These little ones, we want to try and keep that white in the middle if we can. So I'm not going too far in there. Okay, and then of course, see a bit more rubber still. Let's just add just a touch, if you can, because mine are quite skinny. Oh, so it might be that I don't get too much on there. There you are, just a little bit. Now, of course, if you're not using watercolour and you're just going in with your regular pencil, you would do exactly the same here. But when I use water, you would use your tortillon. Same with the pastels, you would do exactly the same. With your pencils, if you're going to use regular coloured pencils, you might not want to be too heavy. You might want to sort of start to blend it in yourself because it's just going to take a little bit longer. Okay. So here we go then, regular brush. Okay, just that's the brush that comes in with the bronzes. We'll use whatever suits you. So how would we do this? Okay, I'm just going to bring my water in for a minute. Let's go out a little bit. There we go, a bit of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my brush. You see at the moment it's really wet. I can actually drip off it. It's that wet, okay? So just get rid of that. And then what I actually do is I use my hand so I can see how sort of damp it is. So I'll very gently turn it and brush it off my hand. And then, let's just take that out of the way for a minute. Bring it in. I'll go a bit more. And then I'm just going to start to pull that colour down. Okay, and you can see here it's starting to form a little bit of a line. So I'll go back into the water, clean my brush off, dry it off on my hand again, and just sort of feather the edge, just so it fades to nothing. I mean, maybe I didn't use a strong enough colour, but you can see there where that line's starting to form, look. Go in and clean your brush off, dry it off a little bit, and just sort of feather the edge, and you see that line's gone. And it's just worked into each other there. See here, it's almost hardly worth worrying too much about. It's just about pulling that colour down a little bit, and it sort of does it itself, you see, it just fades in. But where you've got something a little bit more, let's just do these first. There we go. Okay, we're always trying to keep that little bit of in the centre there if we can. You see, I'm just going to do that one and that one. Clean my brush off and then just touch it a little bit. Let's do this larger one, you see. That one and that one. You see where that line's formed? Go in and clean your brush off, and you want clean water there so it'll fade from the blue into nothing. So it won't start to leave lines everywhere. We want that nice little blend, don't we? So here we go, look. I can get the two sides in together. Don't try and do too much at once. Clean your brush off, touch the edges. All right, so let's have a look at how that's sort of looking. Okay, you see it's nice and pale, but I quite like that because we're going to bring another colour in a short while. You might want to go a little bit stronger, whatever you feel you want to do. See, some of them, because they're quite little, you can get away without going back in and adding that bit of water, but some of them you might need that extra bit of work. There we go. Okay. So I'm just working my way around the outside. Just touching all those little bits. You see, some of them are so small, as we say, we don't need to add anything else in with them. It's just about, you know, it's almost like using the tortillon, but it's a bit of water, isn't it? And it's just easing off to those lines. See, this is a little bit larger, so what I'd probably do again is that one and that one. And then go back in and just touch it so you lose that little line. Okay, same here. And of course, if you find that yours is a bit pale and you think, do you know what, I wanted it a bit stronger, then by all means go round and do this and then let it dry and then do another layer. Don't try and go back in with the pencils whilst it's wet. You want to leave it and let it dry off first and then go back in. So you could end up with a bit of a mud. Oh, brush it is. I mean, it says, look, there you go. It's a Brunswick number 3, but I know it's quite fine, isn't it? It comes with the pens, the watercolour pencils that I've got, so it's nice that you've got one there. But you know, you can use anything because we're working on small areas there. You don't want something too big. And if you're doing the sky as a watercolour, you'd want a larger brush, but we're just working on sort of small areas, so we don't want to overdo it. Okay, so I'm going to work on the magenta-y colour now, and I'm just going to bring some up this section here. Now I'm not going to do top and bottom this time, I'm just going to do the bottom sections. And the same here, just the bottom section. There we go. And the same on here. So just be careful because those are quite narrow, but you can add a little bit more onto the shapes there. Just make sure that your paints or your watercolours dry before you go back in with another pencil. Okay, and then also I'm going to add some here in this sort of space. Okay, and then same here, just adding that in, and that one. So I'm just going to turn my tile and I'm going to add this in each one of those sections. See, it's a different colour combination, isn't it? You might not want to have wanted to have done this colour before. Maybe the light blue you would have put in with the dark blue or the green, but this is quite a nice combination. It's something that you know, when you've got 12 pencils, you don't think about it too much. You just think, well, do you know what? They're all going to work together. So it really doesn't matter so much whether you mix them all or you just use one or two. It's absolutely fine. So, just a little bit of an experiment. It's great to have lots of pencils, but sometimes you just want to go with it and use whatever you've got. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start in the centre, and same as before, I'm just going to work. You might see it a bit better actually with me strong. I'm just going to work over it, and of course because I've used the Sakura pen, you can see that it's not blotting out and it's not sort of muddying my colours. It's just sitting there. Okay, see these ones quite narrow. It's a good job I've got a nice brush. There you go. Just work my way up there a little bit. There we go. And then of course into the next one. So again, just clean my brush off so it starts clean. There we go. Take my brush back to the water, dry it off and just touch that top edge. Okay, we're just getting rid of that line. So same again, it's just pulling it together. So if we're not careful and you sort of put too much water on over the whole shape, then what you'll find is you'll end up with all this colour all over your shape, and you don't want that. See, I've just gone halfway, clean my brush, and then again, just coming in, and the colour's just working its way in and then going to nothing. And that's where you get the depth from, because you're getting it darker one side than the other. Okay? So don't sort of just take it all the way up and across the whole shape. Make sure you come back in with that little bit of clean water, and it'll just take it through the levels of colour. Let's have a look at that. Let's see, there's a little bit there. Okay, let's have a look at that. You see, so it starts with that and it goes to nothing. Okay, here we go with these sections then. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on one at a time, because it's quite a large area, isn't it? And you see there where I've got that going on. Clean water, dry it off, feather it out. You see? To help it a little bit. See, clean water again, just feather it off. See? Same again, here we go. So just working my way, just giving that some colour there, some water, clean it off, feather it out. So I'm just helping it a little bit, feather it out again, look, clean water each time. I'll take it to nothing, you see. Okay, it is quite delicate, isn't it, Julie? You saying I'm not normally delicate? Do you know, everyone's different, and although I plan and I know what I'm doing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to look the same. And it's just nice to sort of mix and match, isn't it? And sometimes have a really strong one, but others just sort of had a hint or a touch of colour. And I know everybody's different and we all like our own ways, but I'm just going to help that a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit more. There we go. It is, I'm glad I chose these two colours now. I say there's not a massive amount of choice, but that's a good thing. You don't want to be spending an hour looking for certain colours, and thinking I don't know which goes with which. You just want to pick one up and use it. Now, you notice I mentioned no names there. Yes. Yeah, we know who you are. It goes back to my colouring class days. Yeah. There we go. Do you see how it's sort of, once you get into the throes of it, this constantly, cleaning your brush off, it suddenly becomes second nature. And it's one of those things that you actually just do as part of it, and just let it dry, let it do its thing. And if it's not exactly perfect, or it doesn't give you a brilliant result to start with, then don't worry about it. I mean, if all else, you could even go back over it after with a regular coloured pencil, or even go back over it with your regular normal pencil and use your tortillon over. That'll give it a little bit more of a vintage sort of look. So not everything is lost if you don't sort of get your blend quite right to start with. So don't panic over it. Okay, don't panic. It's not a problem. And of course, if all else fails, just punch out or die out. Use a die cut out of the bits you like, and use them. Or doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. There we go. So a little bit more there. There we go. And almost done now with this. It's amazing, the difference. I mean, I do have one, I'll show you in a short while, one that I've done just in pencil, and the difference is quite a lot. It's quite noticeable, actually. But I'm liking this little sort of touch. we go. So, last one here. Now, of course, I have got this other blue. I'll have a look in a minute and see if I think that needs to have a little bit of dark blue on it. Of course, I've got to make sure that my paint or my colours that I've used already are nice and dry before I go on and do anything. There we go. It's always better to leave it, if you can, to dry naturally. There we go. Look at that. You know, we've got the darkness where we need it. We've got a little bit of colour in the middle there. Really pretty, that one. But I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea and then we'll just let that dry. And I think I'm going to come in with a bit of dark blue. So, I'm not going to overdo it, I think, just a little bit. Just in areas. So, just as a start then, I'm going to leave this white here, but I'm going to actually add some of the blue on the outside line there. Let's have a look. There we go. And then here, and of course, the blue I know is dry now because it's, you know, it's been done a little while, which is why I sort of decided to go with this first. And you can see that it's just lifting that centre, because that's what we're wanting that little bit of depth. Let's just bring it out a bit. Oh, Sue, that's great news. Well, happy birthday for Friday. I mean, of course, Friday's our Tangle Day as well, isn't it? And I don't know if you've noticed the times, but I am on at 3 o'clock. I think I'm there at 7:30. So I'll do a double show then I'm on at 3, then I'm back on at 8:15. So if it's okay with everybody, it's, let's have a feel that's dry, yeah. I'm going to move our tangly session to 1 o'clock, and then that gives me, you know, 1 till 2, and then that gives me time to prep and be ready and, you know, get back into the studio for 3 o'clock. So, yeah, that'll be fine. So you see, I'm doing the same thing now. I'm working sort of on the outside. So I'm in that sort of purple, sort of magenta-y type of place. And I just add a little, just a little bit up those shapes there, just on the corners. There we go. Oh, Julie, yes, it's going to be a long day. It's going to mean going to bed early. Because if I'm there at 7:30 show, I've got to be there for 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock. So, yeah, it's a 2-hour drive. So, yeah, very, very early get up. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? It's I'm just, you know, touching the blue and just pulling it out a little bit, really. And it doesn't need much more than that. So it's not about having that line there at the moment, because I'm just sort of giving it a little bit, just a little bit of movement. It's mostly staying where it is because it's giving that shadow. Okay, and then let's clean my brush off again, and I'm just going to repeat the process. And because the watercolour's dried underneath it, it's not going to move at, it'll move a little bit, but it's not going to move at the same rate as this one. So I can go over it with water and I don't have to worry about it. Just keep, you know, I dry it off in between-ish. Not so it's bone dry, it's just that it's got a little bit of something. There we go. So just a little bit. And of course you can, you know, go in as much as little as you like. Do whatever you want to do. It's your tile. Okay, see that? It's a little bit more. Just sort of gives it that little bit of difference. Then of course I did add a touch in the centre, and now I'm just going to flick it up a little bit. You know, so it's not blending as such, it's just a little bit of a flick. Okay, All right, let's have a look. Okay, so you see the difference that that's made now. It's given it steps almost. So it's saying, look, I'm not... Oh, Bernadette, do you know what? I know it's not easy, and I never say it's easy, but I try and show you the techniques so you can have a go. And it's about you having a go, isn't it? And just see what it's like and just practice a little bit. Even if you did a couple of squares, you know, on a bit of the paper. Yeah, Bridget, I have used water brushes, and I do on occasion, but I'm still very old school, and I do like to use my regular watering brush. But whatever works for you, honestly, whatever works for you, and you know, it's just keep trying, just keep having a go, and keep trying it, and just take your time. Obviously, you're down to using the paper. If the paper's right, then it'll move suitably. If it's not moving at all, then I'd look at your paper and ask yourself, you know, why isn't it? Is it the paper? What's going? So there we go. So, okay, there's our tile for the day. I'm just going to move my water. There you go. And as you see, just a little bit of a hint of watercolour. But again, you could have done this on a black tile with white. You could have used a coloured tile to start with and just kept it, you know, with pastels and things maybe. Or I do have one here, and I have actually used just the pencil. There we go. And I don't know if you can tell, I don't know if there's any glitter in it. I've just used sort of a bit of ink, a bit of dark red ink on, see, on these sections here, just to sort of lift it a little bit. But it's a completely different feel to this one. So whichever way you want to do it is up to you, as I've always said. Really pretty, that one. I really like that. I mean, I might even be tempted to go back round and do, you know, a little bit in the background just to sort of bring that off. But, you know, I think that's sometimes less is more, isn't it? It's quite sweet to look at. So, yeah, see how you go with it. And yeah, I use the Brunswick watercolour there, but of course use any of the pencils, anything that you've got really. And just bring it out a little bit. So, okay, if all being well then, I'm on Create and Craft at 7:30, oh my goodness, on Friday morning. So if you want to brave it and be up, that would be great. Yeah, there are some new products there. We've been working on them for a little while. So hopefully you like them. I have put a post out and sent some pictures your way so you can have a look at them. They're already there. And we'll move our tangling session from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock, so we can just sneak one in. That would be great if you could do that. And then I will see you again after Friday. Oh, then it'll be back to Wednesday, won't it? Don't forget, if you want to do the tile swap, the deadline's looming, so you do need to get them in the post, because obviously on the deadline, I think it's the 3rd of February, because the 4th we're going to be swapping them all, and then on the 5th we're going to be posting them out. Don't forget to put your name on them. Don't forget to sign the front as well, you know, with your little initials. And yeah, self-addressed envelope, and we'll get it sorted for you. So that's exciting. Really looking forward to doing that. So other than that, I will see you Friday. So go on, sit yourself down, put your feet up, put the kettle back on, have another drink, and give this one a go. So until then, take care everybody, and I'll see you soon.